My name is Josh White, and I'm a psychologist with Crossover Health. Are you like me and ever wondered what it really takes to get happy? Have you ever met like a really big goal and you maybe only felt a fleeting sense of happiness and really your life isn't any better after? Well, I have some good news. Positive psychology is the study of what are the habits and traits of people around the world who live happier and feel more satisfied in their lives. Because most of healthcare is focused on alleviating suffering. Well, that's very important. Positive psychology focuses on function, not necessarily dysfunction. So, in this educational series, we're going to learn a lot of these habits and these traits that people do around the world. And research has put them into 7 domains of happiness practices. And within these domains, there's a multitude of practices. And I got a sneak peek for you. Money is not really in one of the domains. An important thing for understanding positive psychology and happiness practices is really understanding the difference between a state and a trait. A state is a temporary state of being, like happiness, sadness. It's usually short, not more than a few minutes in a really temporary state, where a trait is a longer lasting, more of quality of a person. So the goal of happiness practices is hey, let's practice a lot of these states so we get really good at them so we become more trait like. Another way to view these positive psychology practices is that they really help with people's overall resilience factors. And in fact, we see that people who have a diverse array of happiness practices are more likely to be resilient against adverse effects. Essentially, the more practices you have, the better you are at handling negative adverse events, which I think is a pretty good deal. Another important factor of these practices that we're going to discuss is the research shows that doing these practices are on par with other common psychological interventions that you would experience in other modes of therapy. So I think that's pretty good news that focusing on happiness can help alleviate suffering essentially. Another thing to really consider when we review all these practices is hey, these all sound good, but some of them don't really seem like they fit me. This is the importance of person activity fit. Essentially, there's so many different ways of doing these happiness practices. And it's important to find something that fits kind of within your cultural conceptualization of things and something that kind of fits your personality style. Very common, an introvert is more likely to do things that's kind of to themselves. An extrovert might be more comfortable doing more external social types of activities. Lastly, I want to leave with a very important caveat that focusing on happiness factors does not mean not focusing on unhappiness. In fact, people who rate high happiness actually experience plenty of negative emotions as well. But one way to think of it is happiness factors help strengthen the muscles of happiness. Doesn't mean you ignore unhappiness. So, I hope that you enjoy the practices we're going to learn together and dare I say, lead to more happy life. Thanks, and I'll see you.